Hey, this is Dr. Dane. Today we're here with Rachel, and her son Matthew just completed a 2-week intensive at our office, and he came in with some learning disabilities, dyslexia, some motor incoordination, and I'm just going to turn it over to Rachel, and she can explain to you the differences that she's seen.
Well, my son is Matthew. He's 10. And Matthew was born with a hereditary vision issue, and so we knew that things like reading would be hard for him. We just expected that, but he really struggled a lot with reading. And I didn't realize until I met Dr. Darcy that the brain, all the roles that it played, and all the other things that would be affected, and it wasn't just about having a hard time reading. Physically, he's very healthy, but his posture, he always would complain about having his neck get out of adjustment, sore neck or stiff neck, stuff like that. And his posture, actually, if you looked at him from the side, it was noticeably sort of bent forward, and that was obviously causing issues there. Emotionally, he was very volatile, a lot of up and down, not a lot of anger, some anger, but just a lot of crying and just emotional that way, and just really inflexible, just got very upset if plans changed or things were different than he thought they would be, very perfectionistic, very inward focused that way, and a lot of struggling, like I said, with reading, memorization, especially lists like days of the week, months of the year, phone numbers, all that kind of stuff, just really almost impossible to memorize it, even with going over it hundreds of times. Spelling was a huge struggle for him. He would study the same words for a week, and when it came time for that test at the end of the week, it was like he'd never seen the words before. He couldn't even really sound them out and hear the different sounds in some of the words, and we noticed some dyslexic tendencies, reversing, writing some letters backwards, or even the numerals in a 2-digit number, writing those backwards sometimes. And despite having him correct those repeatedly, it just like those changes just couldn't stick. He couldn't change those things. So over probably the past year, my husband and I have noticed, I think as his schoolwork got more challenging, some of those deficiencies became more glaring, and just really struggling. And it's just so frustrated, just this undercurrent of frustration in everything that he did that just spilled over into relating to people and just everything, just so frustrated, and really a negative self-image, just a view of himself, felt like he was stupid, which he's not. He just had those key areas that he knew he worked so hard in, and didn't really see the results that he knew he should. And so we just decided that it was time to get him some help. He really needed some help. And I've known Darcy for about 3 years now as my chiropractor, and we've had a lot of conversations about functional neurology, and especially about Matthew specifically. So when we decided to find some help for him, I wanted to go to the root of the problem. I didn't just want to teach him coping skills for his different issues, but I want to actually kind of try to get to the root of the problem. So it was daunting to commit the time, especially a 2-week intensive. I mean, that's a lot of driving back and forth, and financially, it's a commitment. So it was a bit daunting to jump in. Because I know Darcy, I trusted that she could help him, but I didn't really know what that would look like. I wasn't sure how much he could improve. I didn't know if when we finished we would still have to teach him a bunch of coping skills, or I just wasn't sure what that would look like and how much improvement we'd be able to see. But we did the 2-week intensive, and just right from the first day we saw noticeable improvements. His posture, he began to straighten up, his back and neck and head began to straighten, and he began to be able to memorize things. He said the months of the year just rattled him off to me for the first time ever, his spelling has improved dramatically. He's able to sound out a word in his head and think about the sounds that he's hearing and what letters might make those sounds, which he really struggled with before. and is able to remember spelling of words now. And it's a night and day change. It's completely a 180. His dyslexic tendencies with some of the reversing letters and things like that have almost totally disappeared. Occasionally he's tired, I think his hand kind of forgets and goes back to the old patterns, but really almost completely disappeared. And he's just emotionally, he's more stable. I think it's, the therapy has done away with some of the negative aspects of his personality and really highlighted some of the good things that were already there. He's just more at peace. He's happier. He's just more confident. And I think from talking to Dr. Dane that I expect that confidence is just going to keep growing as he begins to understand and really comprehend the changes that have happened in his brain and what that looks like, that those things that he struggled so hard with, now he doesn't have to struggle with those anymore. So even though it was, it's a big commitment to do it, I would do it again in a heartbeat. It is absolutely amazing the changes that we've seen in him, and I'm really excited about it.
Great, thanks so much.